B and C, and it wants me to find the slope of AB. So that's handy enough. That's just going to be the slope formula. X1, Y1, and X2, Y2. So we're going to do the slope. And we're going to do what's it, Y2 minus Y1 all over X2 minus X1. And then put it in here. We're going to get minus 2, 3, 1, and 2. And I believe we're going to get minus 5 over minus 1, which is just 5. And we get 5. Happy days. Hence, find the slope of BC. Oh, it tells us that the angle in between is 45 degrees, yeah? What formula you want to use? Yeah. So there's a formula in your log tables for when two lines intersect each other. And what it's called is tan theta. Is it plus or minus or absolute value in the log tables? M2. And it's plus or minus, is it? Plus or minus and absolute value, sorry, mean the same thing, okay? So it means a plus or a minus answer. Now, here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to call the slope of BC, just call it M. Is that right? So slope of BC is M. And then we're going to replace in the angle. So what's a tan 45? Which we all know is the number 1 when you put it in the calculator. And then it's going to be 5, take away M, because we're going to let 5 be M1. And I'm going to let M be M2. So 1 plus 5M. Are we cool with that? Now, we know that all of this equals 1, because tan 45 is in fact 1. Okay, so just cross multiply, won't we? 1 plus 5M is division on the right, makes a multiplication on the left. So 1 plus 5M equals 5 minus M. Oh, the plus or minus. That is a very valid point. You get one answer. There should be 2 answers though, shouldn't there? Yeah. So what it could be is that if you're to square both sides, you might get a second answer. See the second line I just drew a second ago? See the way that also cuts at 45 degrees? But one of them has a negative slope, while the other one clearly has a. So here's what you could do. All right, that's a very valid point you raised there. Okay, so I'll show you what I'll do on the first one. The first one I'm doing is actually the positive answer. Okay, so for argument's sake, we're going to do the positive answer first, where I change nothing. Okay, and I cross multiply up and I get 1 plus 5M equals 5 minus M. You go with that? Bring the M to one side and I get 6M equals 4, and M equals 4 over 6, which is 2 over 3. I know that's the correct answer because I know that BC is expecting to be a positive slope. To get the other answer, what would you need to do instead? Instead of multiplying it by positive, what would you need to multiply it by? You need to multiply it by negative. And Tom, this is the same thing as squaring both sides. You'd actually get both answers this way. So if I change it, see if I just change the top into minus 5 plus M, right? And just for argument's sake, I'm just going to manipulate that around just to show you what happens. It's going to be 1 plus 5M when I cross multiply. And I'm expecting a negative angle here, if I'm being honest. And then it's going to be 4M equals minus 5 minus 1, which is minus 6. And M equals minus 3 over 2. Is that all right? And that'll be the slope of the second line. This negative slope here. We didn't want that one, did we? We wanted the one that made a positive slope. So if you squared both sides, Tom, you would have got a quadratic equation. One of the answers would have been 2/3, and the other answer would have been minus 3 over 2, and you'd have to rule out the minus 3 over 2. Is that all right? Great. Okay. It wants the point of intersection now. Lovely jubbly. Hence show the coordinates of C are 4, 0. Actually, no, it doesn't want that. We're good. Have an idea? Okay. So I'm just going to rub out the, there's not much space, is there? I'm going to rub out the slope formula. Can I rub out the tan formula as well? Yeah, I got done? Okay, here's what we're going to do now. We are going to like to find out the point of C. What can we say about the x coordinate of C? Well, the y coordinate is 0 and the x coordinate is positive. Is that okay? So here's what we're going to do. We know that the slope of BC is what? What's the slope of BC? 2 over 3, wasn't it? And we can get the equation of the line very quickly. Okay. And when we get the equation of this line, we're going to use the point B. What's the point B? 1 minus 2, is it? Perfect. And that's my x1 and y1. I'm going to go y minus minus 2 is y plus 2. M is 2 over 3. And x, and what's the other one? Minus. It's 1, right? Yeah. Now, cross multiply up to 3 and we get 3y plus 6 equals 2x minus 2. Now, believe it or not, if you were to move that all over one side, you know the way we normally put it as x, y, and number? That's actually a waste of our time here. Can anybody explain why? What's the goal of the question? Yeah, put y as 0 and then figure out what x is, and that will tell you what the x coordinate is. And we're expecting it to be 4, aren't we? Let's find out. So replace y with 0. So 3 times 0, gone. And then you're just left with 6 equals 2x minus. Bring the 2 to the other side, 8 equals 2x. And then 4 equals x. And that hence the coordinate is 4, 0. Now, here we go. D is a point on BC such that the area of ABD is 3 times the area of ABC. Find 2 possible coordinates of D. Whoa. Right. So this one's going to be hard to picture. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to use GeoGebra really quickly. Is that all right with you guys? Right. Just want you to call me out the points for A, B, and D again in a second. I'll just have to undo all this. Give me a second. And let me explain what we're doing here. Okay, what's A? 2, 3. 2 cross 3 up. Oh, sorry, undo. Hit the target. 2, 3. Yeah, what's B? Yeah. What's C? 4, 0. Okay. Now, if I was to make a triangle out of this, okay. So first thing I'm going to do is make a line out of BC. Everybody see BC? That's the line, yeah. And the next piece of information we're going to do is we are going to say, going to link A to B. So we're going to link. So everybody see a triangle ABC? Okay. Now I'm going to set up another point D. Okay, and the point D is going to have to be somewhere along this line. Do you see it? And this point D is on a slider. Okay, so I can move this point D anywhere I want. And see the way I can move it closer or further away. And what they're asking is that the triangle ABD, the big triangle, has to be 3 times bigger than the small triangle. See the way I can get one answer over here? I say that could be roughly 3 times bigger. Would that be all right? But I could also go all the way over this side, couldn't I? And get another one that's 3 times bigger. That's why we're expecting 2 different answers. Is that cool, you guys? Now, I think good attempt marks. I know a lot of lads would just be looking for a good attempt mark here. I say we just find the area of ABC would be a good starting off attempt, wouldn't it? Translation. So for those who don't know what translation is, what we do is you grab CB, go 2 across and 1 up. CC, go 2 across and 1 up. CA, 2 across and 1 up. And what you've created is a new triangle that's exactly the same size as the old triangle, yeah. And if you get the area of the new triangle, it's the same thing as getting the area of the old triangle. Now, to do that without a diagram, I'm going to show you in a second, okay? I'll show you how to do that without a diagram now. Okay. Now, once again, I'm going to need what A, B, and C are again. What's A again? B. 1 minus 2. C. 4, 0. Okay. And here's what we're going to do. A, B, and C. Now, the reason why I'm doing this, if you go to page 18 of your maths tables, you will see a formula for the area of a triangle. And this is it here. See the way there's 2 points, x1 and x2 and y1 and y2? Means you're only allowed to use 2 points. And I currently have a choice of 3 points. That means I need to reduce one of them to 0, 0. It's your choice. I decided to put the b to 0, didn't I? So that means take 1 away from minus 1 to x and plus 2 to y. And we do that here. So we get 0, 0. And then on the other one, we get 1 and 5. And the next one, 3 and 2. We all good? Now, put it into the calculator. So x1, you can name them any way you want. What do we get? 1 times 3 minus 3 times 5. And if you aren't sure how to use this in the calculator, you can go half, looking for the ABS button. If you aren't sure about the new calculator, and then just enter that in. It's going to be 3 take away 15. And I'm hoping I get an answer of 6. All right? 6. Now, oh, now this is tough, right? This is my first time seeing this question, so it's going to be interesting. So we have an attempt mark, don't we? Now, what do we know about the triangle ABD now? So area of ABD is 18. Okay, and most of us will be hoping that that's enough to actually pass the question, right? Now, let's rewrite. It has to be one variable, can't be 2 variables. I have an idea. Here's my idea, ready? Instead of ABC, we're now using ABD. You all right with that? Now, here's the deal with ABD. For argument's sake, I'm just going to call the point D is going to be X and. You happy with being X and Y? Huh? Yeah, I'm going to get there in a second. So what I'm going to explain is that you have one equation with 2 variables and that you need to reduce that to one equation with 1 variable. Then you're going to use the equation of the line to do that. Not my first rodeo, right? Now, here's what we're going to do. Okay. It's going to be the same translation as last time, isn't it? We're going to send B back to 0, 0, aren't we? We're going to send A, which is 2, 3 to 1, 5. Now, what's X and Y going to turn into? Did we say minus 1 to X, wasn't it? And plus 2 to Y. Now we're good at that. Now to get serious attempt marks, what you could do next is you could just put it back into the formula we have above, couldn't you? Now, the problem I've raised already is that you have one equation and 2 letters. That's impossible, isn't it? One equation, 2 letters. You can't do it. So, however, we're told that it's on the line. We're told that it's on the line BC, isn't it? And what's the equation of BC we did in the last question, didn't we? Where was it? Oh, sorry. That's it there, isn't it? Okay. Huh? Get one of the letters on its own. So I'd be inclined to get X on its own. So I'm going to say that 2X equals, what's it? 3Y plus 8. Then divided by 2. What do we get? 3 over 2, Y plus 4. Is that okay? Now, that's X. But what we're actually looking for is X minus 1. So they'd be happy if we just take away a 1 from that. And again, 3 over 2, Y plus 3. So I'm going to change that to 3 over 2, Y plus 3. Now what you notice now, I only have one letter now, don't I? 3 over 2y plus 3. I'm not going to lie, lads. Most people ain't getting this question now. Most people are just going to get the area of 6 for ABC. You're going to make a small token effort at the next part, and not many people are getting it now. Okay, here we go. I'm going to fill out this formula. here. Okay. Now, once again, just going to space this out. Okay. What do you reckon? X2, Y2, yeah? Okay, so it's going to be X1, Y2, so it's going to be 1 times Y plus 2, yeah? And then it's going to be minus, and then it's going to be 5 times X2, Y1, isn't it? So 3 over 2Y, what's a plus 3? And all that has to equal 18, right? Thinking about it, there's 2 answers though. So squaring out would be logical. But we're going to multiply up that 2. See that 2? I'm going to turn that into a 36 instead of an 18. Is that all right? Because I just want to limit the amount of work I have to do. Now, there we go. Now, next thing, guys, we get a y plus 2, yeah? Now, what's 5 times 3 over 2? 5 times 1.5, which is minus 7.5. Minus 7.5y. Okay, 5 times 3, minus 15. And long story short, minus 6.5y. What's it? Minus 13 equals 36. Now, to be honest, I think it's a lot easier not to square it out. And I'm gonna draw a green question on the top right hand side of the board, right? And it has nothing to do with the question I'm doing currently, but it's just to teach you a valuable lesson. Ready? Here it goes. See, x minus 2 equals 6, yeah? There's 2 possible answers for this. The first answer is 8. How do I know the answer is 8? Because what's 8 take away 2? 6. So I could say is x minus 2 equals 6. Bring over the 2 over the other side, and x equals 8. What's the other possible answer? It could be minus 6, so x could actually be minus 4. So my other way of doing it would have been x minus 2 equals minus 6, and x equals minus 4. I think instead of squaring both sides, I think that's considerably faster. Does that make sense? It's actually worth doing. So here's what we're going to do. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm now using what I just taught you to do this question. All right. So minus 36, yeah, and minus 6.5y minus 13 equals 36. And now I should get out my 2 answers all right. So minus 6.5y equals, what's that? 20 minus 23. And what's 23 divided by 6.5? Not a great number, is it? Yeah. Even if I made an error, the technique was good. And we're not going to find it in time anyway. All right, what about the other one? It was 49. 28 over 13. Minus 98 over 13. Now, unfortunately for us, it wanted the coordinates, not just the y values. So I actually have to go all the way back up to where we did the x value again. Where was it? Here it is here, wasn't it? So I'm going to grab that formula, the 2x, this thing here. I'm going to have to drag it all the way down. Okay. I'm going to drag it all the way back down again. What we're going to get is what, guys? 2x equals 3 times whatever y is, which is 46 over 13 plus 8. And then the other one is 2x equals 3 times minus 98 over 13 plus 8. Even if you're not interested in this question, would you do me a favor? Just put it in the calculator and move me on to the next question quicker. Which one? 240 over 13. Over 13. All right. 242 over 13, yeah. So that point would be 242 over 13 and 46 over 13. Then the other one, minus 190 over 13. And the x and the y value is minus 98 over 13. Okay. Let's just have a quick scan of this, all right? I'm gonna round them off slightly if that's okay with you guys. I just want to have a look at GeoGebra to see if the answers roughly match up to what I expected. All right. So this answer is roughly what's 242 divided by 13? It's around 18 to 20 somewhere, is it? Would you agree with that? Is it? Oh no. So what is it? Okay, yeah. I thought I was looking a bit on the large side, all right. So sorry, but what is it now? 140. So is it 121 now, is it? Thanks. All right. Sorry, half that then. The answer is now 9-ish, is it? Yeah. So that'd be 9 and roughly 3 and a bit, yeah? 9 and 3 and a bit. So if I go to my if I go to this, all right, and I start moving this, yeah, I know. If I go to this and I do 9 and 3 and a bit, looks about right, doesn't it? That it could be roughly 3 times the other one. Tight. It's tight. And then the other answer, sorry, one sec. The other answer is, what's that, minus 95? So you forgot to divide that one by 2. And what would that roughly be? That would be roughly, what's 95 divided by 13? 7 and a bit. And the other one is also 7 and a bit. Close to 8. So minus 7, 7. And if I go up here and I was to drag this all the way down to minus 7, 7, that one looks better, doesn't it? That one looks like it's 3 times it. The other one doesn't. Anywho, the technique was good. Whether we made a small error with the numbers is a different matter. But the main thing is the technique was grand. All right, let's have a look at the next. Find the shortest distance between these two parallel lines. All right, have an idea. Okay, two parallel lines. Can anybody tell me what's roughly the slope on these ones? If we use the formula y equals mx plus c, and for argument's sake, I'll just take this one here. Did you see that one? And I'll say that 4y when I move it to the right is equal to 3x plus 14. Is that okay with you guys? Yeah, yeah. You can indeed, yeah. The only thing is that won't be in your tables, so that'd be something that's extra memory. Well, mx plus c would be in your tables, which is perfect. But your way's faster, but it requires memory. Okay. So what's 14 over 4 roughly? 7 over 2 or 3.5. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to explain to you guys is that if I was to draw a diagram of this, and I like diagrams to explain what I'm doing, I cross at 3.5, and I'm going 4 blocks across and 3 blocks up, and that continues on forever, doesn't it? Now, the other one is a the other one's exactly the same thing, except what? Instead of a plus 14, it's a what? It's a minus 16. And then what can we say then? 4y y equals minus 3 over 4x minus 4. Is that right? So that crosses at the point what? 0, 0 minus 4, yeah? And it's also a parallel line. Now, sorry, it'll be a parallel line, okay? So, sorry if they're not quite parallel, but you get them to be parallel, don't you? Now, the distance from, we set that as 0, 3.5 earlier, didn't we? This distance here is not the correct answer. Can anybody tell me why this distance of 3.5 and 4 combined is not the correct answer? Yes, they're not perpendicular. So that would be a wrong way to do this question. Okay, but we do, however, have it better. We now have enough information to do this question. What we're going to use is the D formula. Does anybody remember the D formula? AX1 plus BY1 plus C all over A squared plus. Now, what this does is You can find the distance of any point to what? To the line. Yeah. Now, so which point, which line is this one then? The top one. What line is it? Yeah. So that's 3x minus 4y plus 14 equals 0. So we have our a, b, and c value right away then. What's our a value? A value is 3. B value? Minus 4. C value? Okay. X1 and Y1 value? 0 and minus 4. You cool with that? Now 3 times 0, yeah? And b minus 4 times minus 4 plus c, which is plus 14, all over the square root of a squared plus b squared, yeah? A squared plus b squared, 3 squared plus minus 4 squared, right? In it goes. And anybody got an answer? 2 over 5, no? Oh wait, that's too small actually. No, I'm wrong. You're right. It's not 30 over 5, which is 6. Who got 6? 6? 6. Yeah, it'll be 30 on top and 5 on the bottom gets me an answer of 6. Now, the other thing is that's an acceptable answer because we wanted the closest distance earlier, didn't we? And that previous yellow distance was 7.5, but we actually know that its perpendicular is closer, yeah? That's perfect. Now, the good news is we're about to use our information to find the line that's dead center between the two of them. Okay, find the equation of a line which is equidistant from both lines. Well, I think we pretty much have this one sorted. Look at this. We know that this is 0 and 3.5, don't we? Right, and that was very useful information. And what we can do is we can do the midpoint between minus 4 and 3.5. Add the y values together and divide by 2. And I think we'll get minus a quarter, is it? 0 and minus, it'll be minus a half, and then minus a half divided by 2 is minus a quarter. So if you use the midpoint formula, you'd be grand. Now, I just did the midpoint formula. I assume you can all take care of the midpoint formula. Okay. All right. That's okay. Now, what do we need to do here? We need to make a new parallel line that's halfway between the other two, don't we? Now, please forgive my diagram. My diagram won't be 100% accurate. Technically, I should have dragged this down a little bit, and it should look a bit more like that. All right, you guys. Now, we have the slope and we have the intercept, don't we? Which is a quicker way of doing it? Y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1, or would you use y equals mx plus c? Why is mx plus c faster in this case? Our slope, which is 2 over, our slope is 2 over 3, so 2 over 3x. Do we have the y-intercept, which is minus quarter? That's it. Does it say in any specific form? Does it say ax plus by plus c or anything like that? It doesn't, so there you go.